In the pursuit of personal growth, we often focus on adding new habits and skills, but eliminating elements that no longer serve us is equally important. This video explores 20 suggestions for things to quietly eliminate from your life to enable significant personal growth. These suggestions encompass various areas, from maintaining discretion in personal matters to shifting focus inward, promoting positivity, and embracing change. Throughout this video, we will delve into each suggestion, exploring their importance and offering practical strategies for implementation. We will examine how maintaining privacy, shifting focus inward, pursuing authentic growth, promoting positivity, and embracing change can lead to a more purposeful and fulfilling life. The journey of personal growth is ongoing and requires continuous self-reflection and improvement. By quietly eliminating what no longer serves us, we create space to pursue our highest potential and live an authentic life. In the following sections, we will explore each suggestion in greater depth, providing insights and practical advice for those embarking on their own journey of personal transformation. Maintaining discretion and privacy. 1. Don't feel the need to explain yourself to those who hurt you. One of the most liberating things you can do for your personal growth is to stop feeling the need to explain yourself to those who have hurt you. When we experience pain or mistreatment from others, it's natural to want to seek justification or closure. However, engaging in this pursuit can often lead to further frustration and emotional turmoil. The power of calm, dignified disengagement cannot be overstated. By choosing to move on without seeking explanations or apologies, you reclaim your energy and focus, redirecting it towards your own healing and growth. This doesn't mean that you ignore or suppress your feelings. Rather, it means processing them internally and with trusted support systems, rather than exposing yourself to further hurt. Learning to let go of the need for external validation or understanding is a crucial step in developing emotional resilience and self-assurance. It allows you to prioritize your own well-being and make decisions based on your values and goals, rather than being swayed by the opinions or actions of others. 2. Don't share intimate details about the end of friendships or relationships. In the age of social media and oversharing, it can be tempting to broadcast the details of our personal lives, especially when it comes to the end of significant friendships or relationships. However, maintaining privacy and discretion during these times is essential for our emotional well-being and personal growth. The value of private reflection and introspection cannot be underestimated. When we process the end of a relationship privately, we give ourselves the space to feel our emotions fully, without the added pressure of external opinions or judgments. This allows us to gain clarity, learn from the experience, and move forward with greater self-awareness and wisdom. Moreover, sharing intimate details about the end of a relationship can often lead to further complications and emotional entanglements. It can create a cycle of gossip, speculation, and take sides, which can be damaging to all parties involved. By choosing to keep these matters private, you demonstrate respect for yourself and others and create a safe space for healing and growth. 3. Controlled displays of anger and frustration in front of others. Anger and frustration are natural human emotions, but when expressed in uncontrolled ways, they can have serious consequences for our personal and professional relationships. Learning to manage these emotions and control our displays of anger in front of others is a crucial aspect of personal growth and emotional intelligence. The impact of emotional outbursts on our relationships cannot be overstated. When we lash out at others or express our frustration in aggressive ways, we risk damaging trust, respect, and rapport. This can lead to a breakdown in communication, collaboration, and even opportunities for growth and advancement. Instead of allowing anger to control our actions, it's important to develop strategies for redirecting that emotional energy in more productive ways. This might involve taking a few deep breaths, stepping away from the situation to regain composure, or finding healthy outlets for expressing our feelings, such as exercise, journaling, or creative pursuits. By learning to control our displays of anger and frustration, we demonstrate emotional maturity, professionalism, and the ability to handle challenging situations with grace and diplomacy. This not only benefits our relationships, but also our own mental and emotional well-being. 4. Avoid sharing negative judgments about others. In our daily interactions, it can be all too easy to slip into the habit of sharing negative judgments about others. Whether it's gossiping about a coworker, criticizing a friend's choices, or making snide comments about a public figure, these negative judgments can have a detrimental impact on our personal growth and relationships. The importance of diplomacy and tact in social interactions cannot be overstated. When we express negative opinions about others, we risk creating an atmosphere of hostility, mistrust, and division. This can lead to damaged relationships, lost opportunities, and a general sense of negativity that permeates our lives. On the other hand, when we choose to rise above negativity and maintain a positive outlook, we create a more supportive and uplifting environment for ourselves and those around us. This doesn't mean that we ignore or condone bad behavior, but rather that we approach these situations with empathy, understanding, and a focus on finding solutions rather than placing blame. By avoiding the sharing of negative judgments, we also demonstrate integrity, compassion, and the ability to see beyond surface-level impressions. This can lead to deeper, more meaningful relationships, as well as greater opportunities for personal and professional growth. In summary, maintaining discretion and privacy in our personal lives, controlling displays of anger and frustration, and avoiding negative judgments about others are all crucial aspects of personal growth and emotional well-being. By implementing these suggestions, we create a foundation of trust, respect, and positivity that allows us to thrive in all areas of our lives. Be shifting focus inward. 5. Stop constantly comparing yourself to others. One of the most significant barriers to personal growth and self-acceptance is the habit of constantly comparing ourselves to others. In our modern society, where social media and advertising bombard us with idealized images of success, beauty, and happiness, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our worth against external standards. The dangers of comparison are well documented. When we focus on how we stack up against others, we often neglect our own unique strengths, talents, and values. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and even depression. Moreover, comparing ourselves to others is often an unfair and unrealistic practice, as we rarely have a complete picture of someone else's life or struggles. To overcome this habit, it's crucial to shift our focus inward and prioritize our own journey and growth. This means setting goals and standards that are authentic to our own desires and values, rather than based on the expectations or achievements of others. It means celebrating our own progress and accomplishments, no matter how small, and practicing self-compassion when we face setbacks or challenges. By learning to focus on our own path, we cultivate a sense of intrinsic motivation and purpose. We become more attuned to our own needs, desires, and passions, and less swayed by external validation or approval. This in turn leads to greater self-awareness, resilience, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace. 6. Limit time on social media. In today's digital age, social media has become an integral part of our daily lives. While these platforms can provide valuable opportunities for connection, learning, and self-expression, excessive use can also have negative effects on our mental health and personal growth. One of the main dangers of social media is its tendency to promote unrealistic comparisons and idealized versions of reality. When we spend too much time scrolling through curated feeds of perfect bodies, lavish lifestyles, and seemingly effortless success, we can easily fall into the trap of feeling inadequate or dissatisfied with our own lives. Moreover, excessive social media use can lead to a host of other mental health concerns, such as anxiety, depression, and addiction. It can also interfere with our ability to be present and engaged in our real-life relationships and experiences, leading to a sense of disconnection and isolation. To mitigate these negative effects, it's important to develop strategies for using social media purposefully and mindfully. This might involve setting clear boundaries around when and how often we check our feeds, unfollowing accounts that consistently trigger negative emotions, and being intentional about the content we consume and share. By limiting our time on social media and using it in a way that supports our values and goals, we create space for more authentic self-expression, connection, and personal growth. We become less reliant on external validation and more attuned to our own inner wisdom and sense of purpose. 7. Let go of the constant pursuit of external approval. From a young age, many of us are conditioned to seek external approval and validation as a measure of our worth and success. Whether it's striving for good grades, seeking praise from our parents or teachers, or trying to fit in with our peers, the pursuit of external approval can become a driving force in our lives. While recognition and support from others can be valuable and affirming, an over-reliance on external validation can also be detrimental to our personal growth and well-being. When we constantly seek approval from others, we risk losing touch with our own authentic desires, values, and sense of self. We may make choices based on what we think will please others, rather than what truly aligns with our own goals and passions. Moreover, the constant pursuit of external approval can lead to a sense of insecurity and instability, as our self-worth becomes contingent on the opinions and reactions of others. This can create a vicious cycle of people-pleasing, self-doubt, and fear of failure, which ultimately hinders our ability to grow and thrive. To break free from this pattern, it's essential to cultivate a strong sense of inner validation and self-acceptance. This means learning to trust our own instincts, values, and decisions, even if they don't always align with the expectations or approval of others. It means practicing self-compassion and self-love, and recognizing that our worth is inherent and unconditional, not dependent on external achievements or accolades. By letting go of the constant pursuit of external approval, we create space for a more authentic and fulfilling life. We become more confident in our own choices and more resilient in the face of challenges or criticism. We learn to value our own growth and well-being above the opinions of others, and to trust in the unique path that aligns with our deepest desires and values. 8. Release unrealistic expectations of perfection for yourself and others. Perfectionism is a common trap that many of us fall into, often without realizing it. Whether it's striving for flawless performance at work, maintaining an immaculate home, or expecting ourselves and others to always say and do the right thing, The pursuit of perfection can be a heavy burden to bear. The dangers of perfectionism are well documented. When we set unrealistically high standards for ourselves and others, we create a breeding ground for stress, anxiety, and feelings of inadequacy. We may become paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes or falling short, leading to procrastination, avoidance, and missed opportunities for growth and learning. Moreover, perfectionism can strain our relationships and lead to a lack of empathy and understanding for others. When we expect perfection from those around us, we risk creating an atmosphere of judgment, criticism, and resentment, rather than one of support, collaboration, and growth. To overcome the pitfalls of perfectionism, it's important to reframe our expectations and focus on progress rather than perfection. This means setting achievable goals that challenge us to grow and improve, while also allowing room for mistakes, setbacks, and learning. It means celebrating our efforts and accomplishments, no matter how small, and practicing self-compassion when we inevitably fall short of our ideals. By releasing unrealistic expectations of perfection, we create a more nurturing and supportive environment for ourselves and others. We learn to embrace the beauty and growth that come from imperfection, and to approach challenges with curiosity, resilience, and a willingness to learn. We become more accepting of ourselves and others, and more attuned to the process of growth and development, rather than fixating on a narrow definition of success. In summary, shifting our focus inward by stopping constant comparisons, limiting social media use, letting go of the pursuit of external approval, and releasing unrealistic expectations of perfection are all crucial aspects of personal growth and well-being. By implementing these suggestions, we create a foundation of self-awareness, self-acceptance, and inner strength that allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and fulfillment. See pursuing personal growth authentically. 9. Abandon unnecessary goals that don't align with your true path. In the pursuit of personal growth, it's easy to become sidetracked by goals and aspirations that don't truly align with our authentic selves. These may be goals that we've inherited from our families, society, or cultural expectations, rather than those that stem from our own deep desires and values. For example, someone may feel pressured to pursue a high-paying career in a field they don't genuinely enjoy, simply because it's what their parents or peers expect of them. Or someone may set a goal to achieve a certain body, type, or lifestyle based on images they see in the media rather than what feels healthy and authentic to them. The importance of identifying and pursuing our authentic passions cannot be overstated. When we set goals that are truly aligned with our values, strengths, and desires, we tap into a deep well of motivation, resilience, and fulfillment. We're more likely to persevere in the face of challenges and to find joy and meaning in the process of growth and achievement. To identify our authentic goals, it's important to cultivate a practice of self-reflection and introspection. This might involve journaling, meditation, or simply taking time to sit with ourselves and ask deep questions about what we truly want and value. It may also involve seeking out new experiences and perspectives that challenge our assumptions and broaden our horizons. As we gain clarity on our authentic path, it's equally important to proceed with discretion and avoid the influence of others' expectations. This means learning to trust our own instincts and judgments, even if they don't align with the conventional wisdom or advice of others. It means being willing to take risks, to chart our own course, and to let go of goals or pursuits that no longer serve our deepest desires and values. For instance, someone may decide to leave a lucrative but unfulfilling career to pursue a passion for teaching or social work, even if it means taking a pay cut or facing disapproval from family or friends. Or someone may choose to prioritize their mental health and well-being over achieving a certain level of success or status, recognizing that true fulfillment comes from within. By abandoning unnecessary goals and aligning ourselves with our authentic path, we create a foundation for deep, lasting personal growth. We become more resilient, adaptable, and capable of navigating life's challenges with grace and purpose. We find greater meaning, satisfaction, and joy in our pursuits and inspire others to do the same. 10. Procrastination and avoidance. Procrastination and avoidance are common obstacles to personal growth and success. When we consistently put off important tasks, decisions, or conversations, we create a cycle of stress, guilt, and missed opportunities that can hold us back from reaching our full potential. The negative impact of procrastination can manifest in many areas of our lives. For example, a student who consistently procrastinates on studying or completing assignments may struggle to keep up with coursework, leading to lower grades and increased anxiety. An entrepreneur who avoids making important decisions or taking calculated risks may miss out on opportunities for growth and innovation. A couple who puts off having difficult conversations about their relationship may allow resentment and disconnection to fester, eroding the foundation of their partnership. To overcome procrastination and avoidance, it's important to develop strategies for recognizing and managing these tendencies. This might involve breaking down large tasks into smaller, more manageable steps, setting clear deadlines and accountability measures, or seeking support and encouragement from others. For instance, someone who struggles with procrastination on a large project at work might create a detailed timeline with specific milestones and check-ins, and enlist the help of a colleague or mentor to hold them accountable. Or someone who tends to avoid difficult conversations with loved ones might practice assertive communication techniques, such as using I statements and active listening, to build confidence and reduce anxiety around these interactions. It's also crucial to recognize that procrastination and avoidance often stem from deeper emotions, such as fear of failure, perfectionism, or low self-worth. By exploring and addressing these underlying issues, we can develop greater self-awareness and resilience in the face of challenges. For example, someone who procrastinates on pursuing a new career path out of fear of failure might work with a therapist or coach to build self-confidence and reframe their relationship with risk and uncertainty. Or someone who avoids setting boundaries with others out of a desire to please or avoid conflict might practice self-compassion and assertiveness, recognizing that their needs and well-being are valid and important. Ultimately, overcoming procrastination and avoidance requires a commitment to taking action, even in the face of discomfort or uncertainty. By developing strategies for managing these tendencies and building self-awareness and resilience, we create a foundation for lasting personal growth and success. 11. Unhealthy habits and self-sabotage. Unhealthy habits and self-sabotaging behaviors can be significant barriers to personal growth and well-being. These patterns can take many forms, such as poor sleep habits, unhealthy eating, negative self-talk, or engaging in activities that undermine our goals and values. For example, someone may turn to alcohol or drugs to cope with stress or anxiety, rather than developing healthy coping mechanisms such as exercise, meditation, or therapy. Or someone may repeatedly enter into toxic relationships or work environments, despite recognizing the negative impact on their mental and emotional well-being. The first step in overcoming unhealthy habits and self-sabotage is to identify the specific patterns and behaviors that are holding us back. This requires a willingness to be honest with ourselves, to look closely at our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and to recognize the ways in which we may be undermining our own growth and happiness. For instance, someone who struggles with negative self-talk might start by simply noticing the specific thoughts and beliefs that arise in challenging situations, such as, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never be able to do this." By bringing awareness to these patterns, we create space for change and growth. The next step is to replace unhealthy habits with nourishing alternatives. This might involve developing a consistent sleep routine, finding healthy ways to manage stress and emotions, or seeking out supportive relationships and environments that align with our values and goals. For example, someone who tends to cope with anxiety by overeating might explore alternative coping strategies, such as deep breathing exercises, journaling, or talking with a trusted friend or therapist. Or someone who struggles with procrastination might experiment with time management techniques, such as the Pomodoro method or time blocking, to create structure and accountability in their daily routine. It's important to approach this process with compassion and patience, recognizing that changing deep-seated habits and patterns takes time and practice. It's also helpful to enlist the support of others, whether that's a therapist, coach, or trusted friend or family member, to provide encouragement, accountability, and guidance along the way. Ultimately, overcoming unhealthy habits and self-sabotage requires a commitment to self-awareness, self-care, and personal growth. By identifying the specific patterns that hold us back, replacing them with nourishing alternatives, and seeking out support and resources, we create a foundation for lasting change and transformation. 12. The need to always be right. The need to always be right is a common trap that can hinder personal growth and damage relationships. When we become overly attached to our own opinions, beliefs, and ways of doing things, we risk closing ourselves off to new perspectives, ideas, and opportunities for learning and connection. This pattern can manifest in many ways, such as arguing with others, even when it's not necessary or productive, refusing to admit when we're wrong or have made a mistake, or dismissing or invalidating the experiences and viewpoints of others. The value of humility and open-mindedness in personal growth cannot be overstated. When we cultivate a willingness to listen, learn, and consider other perspectives, we expand our own understanding of the world and ourselves. We become more adaptable, resilient, and capable of navigating complex challenges and relationships. To develop greater humility and open-mindedness, it's important to practice active listening and empathy. This means setting aside our own agendas and opinions temporarily and focusing on understanding and validating the experiences and perspectives of others. It means asking questions, seeking clarification, and being willing to change our minds or admit when we're wrong. For example, in a disagreement with a colleague or family member, instead of immediately defending our own position or trying to prove the other person wrong, we might ask open-ended questions to better understand their perspective, such as, "Can you tell me more about why you feel that way?" Or, "What experiences have led you to that conclusion?" By creating space for dialogue and understanding, we open up possibilities for growth, connection, and collaboration. It's also helpful to cultivate a growth mindset, recognizing that our own knowledge and understanding is always evolving and incomplete. This means embracing challenges, setbacks, and feedback as opportunities for learning and development, rather than threats to our ego or self-image. For instance, if we receive criticism or negative feedback on a project or idea, instead of becoming defensive or dismissive, we might approach it with curiosity and openness, asking ourselves questions like, what can I learn from this perspective? Or how can I use this feedback to improve and grow? By reframing challenges as opportunities, we develop greater resilience, adaptability, and self-awareness. Ultimately, letting go of the need to always be right requires a deep commitment to personal growth and self-reflection. It means cultivating humility, empathy, and open-mindedness, and recognizing that our own perspectives and experiences are just one part of a vast and complex world. By embracing this mindset, we open ourselves up to new possibilities for learning, connection, and transformation, both within ourselves and in our relationships with others. Promoting positivity in thought and speech. 13. Maintain privacy and discretion about relationship details. Relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, are an essential part of our lives and can greatly impact our personal growth and well-being. However, when relationships end or go through difficult times, it can be tempting to share intimate details with others as a way of processing emotions or seeking support. While it's important to have trusted confidence and support systems, maintaining privacy and discretion about relationship details is crucial for several reasons. First, sharing intimate information about a relationship can breach trust and respect for the other person involved, even if the relationship has ended. It can also create awkwardness or discomfort for those who hear about the private details, and may lead to gossip or judgment that can further complicate the situation. Moreover, processing relationship endings or challenges publicly can sometimes hinder our own healing and growth. When we focus on gaining validation or sympathy from others, we may neglect the important inner work of self-reflection, learning and moving forward. We may also become stuck in a narrative of victimhood or blame, rather than taking responsibility for our own role in the relationship and its challenges. Instead, it's important to find healthy, private ways to process relationship endings and challenges. This might involve journaling, meditation, or speaking with a trusted therapist or counselor who can provide a safe, confidential space for exploration and healing. It might also involve setting clear boundaries with others about what we are and are not willing to share, and communicating our needs for support and privacy directly and respectfully. For example, if a friend or family member asks for details about a recent breakup, we might respond with something like, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm not comfortable sharing private details about my relationship. What I really need right now is your support and understanding as I work through this challenging time." By setting clear boundaries and communicating our needs, we create a foundation for healthy, respectful relationships with others and with ourselves. 14. Don't participate in gossip and negativity. Gossip and negativity are all too common in many social and professional circles and can have a corrosive effect on our personal growth and well-being. When we engage in gossip or negative talk about others, we contribute to a culture of judgment, mistrust, and disconnection that can hinder our own growth and success. The negative impact of gossip can be far-reaching. It can damage reputations, relationships, and opportunities, and create a toxic environment that breeds fear, resentment, and hostility. It can also reinforce negative stereotypes and prejudices and contribute to a culture of exclusion and discrimination. Moreover, participating in gossip and negativity can have a detrimental effect on our own mental and emotional well-being. When we focus on the faults and shortcomings of others, we neglect our own self-reflection and growth. We may become trapped in a cycle of judgment and criticism that leaves us feeling isolated, anxious, and unfulfilled. To avoid participating in gossip and negativity, it's important to cultivate a mindset of empathy, compassion, and positivity. This means looking for the best in others, even when they may be struggling or making mistakes. It means seeking to understand and support rather than judge and criticize. And it means modeling kindness, respect, and integrity in our own words and actions, even when it may be difficult or unpopular. For example, if we hear colleagues or friends engaging in negative gossip about someone else, we might gently redirect the conversation by saying something like, "I don't feel comfortable talking about someone who isn't here to defend themselves. Let's focus on the positive things we appreciate about each other and our work together." By setting a tone of empathy and respect, we create a ripple effect of positivity that can transform our relationships and communities. It's also important to be mindful of our own tendencies towards negativity and judgment, and to actively work to shift our mindset and behavior. This might involve practicing gratitude, self-compassion, and forgiveness, and surrounding ourselves with positive, supportive people who uplift and inspire us. Ultimately, avoiding gossip and negativity is about choosing to be a force for good in the world and recognizing that our words and actions have the power to heal or harm. By cultivating empathy, compassion, and positivity, we not only enhance our own personal growth and well-being, but also contribute to a more loving, connected, and thriving world. 15. Clutter and excess possessions. In our modern consumer culture, it's easy to accumulate clutter and excess possessions that can weigh us down both physically and emotionally. From overflowing closets and garages to crowded bookshelves and kitchen counters, the stuff we own can often take up valuable space in our lives and minds, hindering our ability to focus on what truly matters. The psychological benefits of simplifying our living spaces are well documented. Studies have shown that a decluttered environment can reduce stress and anxiety, improve focus and productivity, and even boost creativity and self-esteem. When we let go of the things that no longer serve us, we create space for new opportunities, experiences, and growth. Moreover, the process of decluttering itself can be a powerful tool for self-reflection and personal development. As we sort through our possessions, we're forced to confront our own values, priorities, and emotional attachments. We may discover that we've been holding on to things out of fear, guilt, or a sense of scarcity rather than true necessity or joy. By letting go of these emotional and physical burdens, we free ourselves to live more authentically and abundantly. To begin the process of decluttering, it's helpful to start small and focus on one area or category at a time. This might involve tackling a single drawer, closet, or room, and sorting items into piles of keep, donate, and discard. As we make decisions about what to let go of, it's important to be honest with ourselves about what truly brings us value and aligns with our goals and values. For example, we might ask ourselves questions like, when was the last time I used this item? Or, does this possession bring me joy or serve a necessary purpose in my life? By focusing on the things that truly matter to us, we create a living space that reflects our authentic selves and supports our personal growth and well-being. It's also helpful to develop systems and habits that prevent clutter from accumulating in the first place. This might involve implementing a one-in, one-out rule for new purchases, or regularly reassessing and purging our possessions to keep our spaces streamlined and intentional. Ultimately, decluttering our living spaces is about more than just tidying up our physical environment. It's about creating a foundation for a more purposeful, joyful, and fulfilling life, free from the distractions and burdens of excess. By letting go of the things that no longer serve us, we open ourselves up to new possibilities for growth, connection, and abundance. 16. Toxic relationships and one-sided friendships. Relationships are an essential part of our lives, providing us with support, connection, and opportunities for growth and learning. However, not all relationships are created equal, and some can be toxic or one-sided, draining our energy and hindering our personal development. Toxic relationships can take many forms, from overt abuse and manipulation to more subtle patterns of negativity, criticism, or disrespect. These relationships often leave us feeling depleted, anxious, and unsupported, and can even lead to physical and mental health problems over time. Similarly, one-sided friendships can be emotionally draining and unfulfilling as we pour our time, energy, and resources into a relationship that doesn't reciprocate or value our needs and boundaries. These imbalanced dynamics can leave us feeling resentful, unappreciated, and disconnected from our own desires and goals. To cultivate healthy, supportive relationships that uplift and inspire us, it's important to be discerning about the people we allow into our lives. This means surrounding ourselves with individuals who share our values, respect our boundaries, and contribute positively to our growth and well-being. It's also crucial to learn how to set and maintain healthy boundaries in our relationships, even with those closest to us. This might involve communicating our needs and expectations clearly and directly, and being willing to say no to requests or behaviors that don't align with our values or well-being. For example, if a friend consistently cancels plans at the last minute or fails to show up for us in times of need, we might have a conversation about how their behavior is impacting us and what we need from the relationship moving forward. If the friend is unwilling or unable to make changes, it may be necessary to reevaluate the relationship and prioritize our own self-care and growth. In some cases, it may be necessary to distance ourselves from toxic or one-sided relationships altogether in order to create space for healthier, more reciprocal connections. This can be a difficult and painful process, but it's an essential part of personal growth and self-respect. Ultimately, cultivating healthy, supportive relationships is about honoring ourselves and our own needs, while also being open to genuine connection and growth with others. By surrounding ourselves with people who uplift and inspire us, setting clear boundaries, and being willing to let go of relationships that no longer serve us, we create a foundation for lasting personal and interpersonal fulfillment. Embracing change and personal evolution. 17. Living in the past or worrying about the future. One of the greatest obstacles to personal growth and well-being is the tendency to live in the past or worry about the future, rather than being fully present in the moment. When we dwell on past regrets, mistakes, or traumas, we can become stuck in a cycle of shame, guilt, and self-doubt that prevents us from moving forward and embracing new opportunities. Similarly, when we constantly worry about future uncertainties or potential failures, we can become paralyzed by fear and anxiety, unable to take the risks and actions necessary for growth and success. The practice of mindfulness and present moment awareness is a powerful tool for overcoming these tendencies and cultivating a greater sense of peace, clarity, and purpose. By learning to focus our attention on the present moment, we can develop a deeper appreciation for the beauty and richness of life and a greater capacity for joy, gratitude, and connection. One key strategy for cultivating mindfulness is to develop a regular meditation or mindfulness practice. This might involve setting aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on the breath, or simply bringing a greater sense of awareness and presence to everyday activities like eating, walking, or conversations with others. Another important aspect of living in the present is learning to reframe our relationship with the past and future. While it's important to learn from our past experiences and plan for the future, we can do so in a way that is grounded in the present moment and aligned with our values and goals. For example, instead of dwelling on past mistakes or failures, we can choose to focus on the lessons and growth opportunities they provided and use them as a springboard for positive change in the present. Similarly, instead of worrying about future uncertainties, we can choose to focus on the actions and choices we can make in the present to create the future we desire. Ultimately, embracing the present moment is about cultivating a sense of trust and surrender, recognizing that life is always unfolding in ways that are beyond our control, but that we always have the power to choose our response and attitude in each moment. By practicing mindfulness and present moment awareness, we open ourselves up to the fullness and richness of life and develop a greater capacity for resilience, adaptability, and growth in the face of change and uncertainty. 18. Neglecting self-care and personal boundaries. In the pursuit of personal and professional success, it's easy to fall into the trap of neglecting our own self-care and personal boundaries. We may push ourselves to work longer hours, take on more responsibilities, or say yes to every request or invitation, all in the name of achievement and progress. However, over time, this constant striving and self-neglect can take a serious toll on our physical, mental, and emotional well-being, leading to burnout, stress, and even illness. To cultivate sustainable personal growth and success, it's essential to prioritize self-care and establish healthy personal boundaries. This means taking intentional time and space for activities that recharge and nourish us, such as exercise, hobbies, social connection, and rest. It also means learning to say no to requests or commitments that don't align with our values, goals, or capacity, and setting clear limits around our time, energy, and resources. One key strategy for prioritizing self-care is to schedule it into our daily or weekly routines, just as we would any other important meeting or appointment. This might involve blocking out time for a morning yoga practice, an evening walk in nature, or a weekly coffee date with a close friend. By treating self-care as a non-negotiable priority, we send a clear message to ourselves and others that our well-being matters and deserves attention and investment. Another important aspect of self-care is learning to listen to and honor our own needs and desires, even when they may conflict with the expectations or demands of others. This might involve setting boundaries around our work hours, declining social invitations that don't feel fulfilling, or communicating our needs and preferences clearly and assertively in relationships. For example, if we find ourselves consistently working late nights or weekends to meet deadlines or impress a boss, we might have a conversation with our supervisor about our workload and schedule, and propose alternative solutions that allow for better work-life balance. Or, if we find ourselves frequently saying yes to social commitments out of a sense of obligation or fear of disappointing others, we might practice saying no more often and focus on cultivating relationships and activities that truly nourish and inspire us. Ultimately, prioritizing self-care and personal boundaries is about recognizing that our own well-being is the foundation for all other aspects of our lives, and that we cannot truly thrive or contribute to the world if we're running on empty. By making intentional choices to nourish and protect our physical, mental, and emotional health, we create a solid foundation for lasting personal growth, fulfillment, and success. 19. The pursuit of perfection. The pursuit of perfection is a common trap that can hinder personal growth and well-being. When we set unrealistic standards for ourselves or others, we create a constant sense of pressure and inadequacy that can lead to anxiety, procrastination, and even depression. We may become so focused on achieving a narrow ideal of success or beauty that we lose sight of the deeper values and experiences that give life meaning and joy. However, the truth is that perfection is an illusion, and that the beauty and growth of life often lie in the imperfections and challenges we face along the way. When we learn to embrace our own humanness and the messiness of the journey, we open ourselves up to a greater sense of self-acceptance, resilience, and creativity. One key strategy for overcoming perfectionism is to reframe our relationship with mistakes and failures. Instead of seeing them as evidence of our inadequacy or unworthiness, we can choose to view them as valuable opportunities for learning, growth, and innovation. We can cultivate a growth mindset that values effort, experimentation, and feedback, rather than a fixed mindset that sees our abilities and outcomes as predetermined or immutable. For example, if we receive critical feedback on a project or performance, instead of becoming defensive or discouraged, we can choose to approach the feedback with curiosity and openness, asking ourselves what we can learn from the experience and how we can use it to improve and evolve. Or if we encounter a setback or failure in pursuit of a goal, we can choose to reframe it as a temporary obstacle or redirection rather than a permanent defeat, and look for ways to adapt and persevere. Another important aspect of embracing imperfection is learning to celebrate the journey and process of growth, rather than just the end result or achievement. This means taking time to acknowledge and appreciate the small wins, insights, and joys along the way, and cultivating a sense of gratitude and presence in each moment. For example, if we are working towards a long-term fitness goal, instead of becoming fixated on the final outcome or number on the scale, we can choose to focus on the daily practices and experiences that make us feel strong, healthy, and alive, such as the endorphin rush after a great workout, the satisfaction of fueling our bodies with nourishing foods, or the camaraderie of a supportive fitness community. Ultimately, embracing imperfection is about recognizing that true growth and fulfillment come from the willingness to show up fully and authentically in each moment, with all of our flaws, struggles, and possibilities. By letting go of the impossible pursuit of perfection, we create space for a more rich, dynamic, and meaningful experience of life and self. 20. Fear of change and the unknown. Change and uncertainty are inevitable parts of life, but for many of us, they can also be sources of great fear and anxiety. We may cling to familiar routines, relationships, or beliefs, even when they no longer serve us, out of a desire for stability and control. We may avoid taking risks or trying new things, out of a fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown. However, the truth is that change and uncertainty are also the very conditions that enable growth, creativity, and transformation. When we learn to embrace the discomfort and possibility of the unknown, we open ourselves up to new experiences, perspectives, and opportunities that can enrich and expand our lives in ways we never could have imagined. One key strategy for overcoming fear of change is to cultivate a mindset of curiosity and exploration. Instead of seeing change as a threat or disruption, we can choose to approach it with a sense of openness and wonder, asking ourselves what we can learn and discover from the experience. We can practice reframing uncertainty as an invitation to grow and evolve, rather than a reason to retreat or resist. For example, if we are considering a career change or relocation, instead of becoming paralyzed by the potential risks and unknowns, we can choose to focus on the potential benefits and opportunities, such as the chance to develop new skills, meet new people, or explore new places and cultures. We can do research, seek out mentors or advisors, and take small, calculated steps to test the waters and build our confidence and resilience. Another important aspect of embracing change is learning to trust in our own abilities and resources to adapt and thrive in new situations. This means cultivating a sense of self-efficacy and self-compassion, recognizing that we have the strength, wisdom, and creativity to navigate challenges and setbacks, and that failure or struggle are not reflections of our worth or potential. For example, if we are facing a major life transition, such as a divorce, illness, or job loss, instead of becoming overwhelmed by fear and self-doubt, we can choose to focus on our inner resources and support systems, such as our resilience, adaptability, and relationships with loved ones. We can seek out counseling, coaching, or other forms of guidance and support, and take proactive steps to care for our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Ultimately, embracing change and the unknown is about cultivating a sense of trust and faith in the unfolding of life, recognizing that even the most difficult and uncertain times can be opportunities for growth, healing, and transformation. By learning to lean into the discomfort and possibility of change, we develop the courage, flexibility, and wisdom to navigate the ever-changing landscape of our lives with grace, purpose, and joy. In this video, we explored 20 suggestions for things to eliminate from your life to enable personal growth and well-being. These suggestions include maintaining discretion, shifting focus inward, pursuing authentic growth, promoting positivity, and embracing change. True growth often requires letting go of things that no longer serve us, such as unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, or outdated ways of being. By creating space, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences. Personal growth is a lifelong journey of self-discovery and evolution, requiring patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to embrace discomfort and change. The goal is not perfection, but cultivating authenticity, purpose, and connection in each moment. As we embark on this journey, remember that we're not alone. Resources, support, and inspiration are available through therapy, coaching, spiritual practice, creative expression, and the guidance of trusted friends and mentors. Let us begin this journey with excitement, knowing that by eliminating what holds us back, we create space for a life of greater meaning and joy. Embrace the present moment and trust in your unique path of growth and transformation. Remember, you always have the power to choose love, curiosity, and self-compassion, creating a life that reflects your deepest desires and values.
Thank you for watching our video. If you like it, please type 1 in the comments below.